All right, so I finally got the air filter. I'll be putting that in next. You can see in my other video where we did just replace the cabin air filter. We do need to put some diesel exhaust fluid in. This is really easy to put the diesel exhaust fluid in. 12.5 quarts of oil is what I just put into this. It is the Mercedes-Benz specific oil that goes in here. And I think that's why these engines run so long. You'll see these things all the time with 200, 300,000 miles. This one has 50,000 miles on it, which I think is pretty low time for these things still. It has been running great for us. It's just a really well-built engine. That's why you see them all over the world just running forever. All right, here's a quick walk around of our 2016 Winnebago Era 170X, 70X, I don't know sure what you call it, but it is a two-wheel drive version. It has the 4 captain seats, the bench seat in the back, and I'll show you all of those things. But let me walk around. What I really want to do is I want to show you how the quality of the whole build of this thing, the condition it's in. I don't want there to be any surprises if you buy this, especially if you buy this remotely and have it shipped to yourself. I don't want it to get there and you say, oh, he didn't tell me about that. So let's first just talk about general paint. I think the paint on this particular one is really good. I would say that on the sides, the top, and the back, I would say it's outstanding. With a couple scratches I'll show you along the way. I would say that what a lot of people have problems with the Eras from Winnebago is the hood, and right up here the paint seems to be maybe a little thin. There's some problems with it. I generally try to combat that by putting a whole lot of polish on it. It does okay, but you can kind of see it's not a perfect paint over here. And if you look down, it's something when I bought it, I didn't even realize that it had it. There's just some really minor hail dents on here. I'll try to get down there so you can see them. But when I first bought the coach, it was used, and I couldn't even see them until I got it home. And I was like, oh, look, there's some hail dents. So I just don't want that to be a shocker to anybody out there. Besides that, not too bad. Little ding right here on the fender. The wheels. These are the wheels that are upgrades from Winnebago, and I would say they're fair. You know, the chrome rubs off of them, and so they're just not able to polish up. There's a little scratch on this one, but the chrome is not great on these. These are brand new tires. We have one trip on them, but we just got these things a couple of months ago. So all 6 tires all the way around are brand new on the coach. Besides that, I think really nice as far as the paint quality all the way down the side. You can see I'm hooked up here. This is your 30 amp cord. I do have 50 amp service at our house. When we built our house, we put water, 50 amp service, and also a sewer drop, so we could drain everything, service our RV, or even pull a 40-footer RV in here. There is a little scratch right here. I generally tend to cover this. I was just polishing the trucks. I took it off. I generally cover this up with a piece of paint. As you open this door right here, which is your sewer service, it does end up striking that paint right there. And so I generally kind of put a little piece of tape over there to kind of protect that. But there is a tiny scratch there. We'll talk about, here's where your gas goes. Works just as you imagine gas bottles do. I'm not sure what the volume is, but I will say that it runs a refrigerator for about 2 months on one bottle. And then here's where all the sewer service is, and I'll show you this here real quick. All right, this is something nobody likes to talk about, but this is how you drain the black and the gray water out of these tanks. This thing comes with what's called a macerator. So once it's on, you put this part over here down into a drain, and you hit this button, and everything kind of comes out. You start with the black lever right here. You pull that out, drain everything, then you pull the other one. Realize that one has to be open for that one to work. If you just pull that one, nothing's going to happen because it goes through this valve. So that's how that works. But we did replace this hose right here, and the original one that came on the Era, it just started cracking and started leaking. It was a little gross, but this one is really nice, and it's been replaced and it's working for us great. All right, continuing on, same story over here with these wheels. They work great. They just don't polish up really well from Winnebago. Besides that, everything else down here is fine. We're leaving Hood River, Oregon, and when we were leaving the 4th of July fireworks show, I hit something right here and it left a little scratch. It's got, I guess, kind of a big scratch. It left all the way across there. So there's a scratch up there. I almost forgot about talking about it right now, but it's up there. You'll see it if you're looking for it, but it's above your eyesight, so you generally don't notice it very much. Back here, nothing crazy to report. This is generally where you kind of keep your stuff, like your hoses and that kind of thing. I keep the hose back there. I keep all my connections for like 50 amp, 30 amp, or hooking up to a generator, those kinds of things. These are kind of some cool features right here. The doors kind of lock in this open position, and you also have your screen back over here. Either this is a full thing. If you keep pulling down, there's a screen in there also that lets air go through the back bed area. But if you pull this thing back and pull these little levers out, then these doors open completely. They'll come all the way around and magnet themselves to the side of the truck. So that's kind of a really cool feature if you're not really familiar with what Winnebagos or what the Sprinter will do. This is a Sprinter feature. And on that note, I will say anything that was Mercedes and Sprinter on this coach is just outstanding. Mercedes just builds a great product. I've owned 3 Mercedes, which was 2 Unimogs, and I've owned this thing. And I would just say, I just love Mercedes products. I really, really like Mercedes customer service. Everything on here that's Winnebago is Winnebago. You know, it's an RV, and there's some things that, you know, like the plastic parts, you got to keep kind of polished up. I got to come in here and hit this with some of our marine grade plastic and rubber restore kind of stuff there. Besides that, all that's pretty good. So underneath the back over here, there are 2 brand new, just replaced them, 100 amp hour each batteries underneath there, and that keeps the coach going for a long time. And then up top, I'm not sure if you get a really good look up there, there is one 100-watt solar panel that I put up there, and I'll show you where it comes through on the inside. But between those batteries and that 100-watt solar panel, we are able to run everything in the coach. We just got done boondocking for over a week, and it ran everything. Now we would run out of water, but we end up showering or bathing off in a river. But it does work. So here's another little mark here. My little boy opened the door into our RV one time, so there is that. Besides that, I can't think of any other dings or anything like that I need to talk about on the coach. I would say overall it's an outstanding looking coach. I really think it looks tight with the black on black. What's really cool about these, and what I think is really cool about Sprinters in general, is you pull up and you set the parking brake and you're camping. And the thing is you can't see in these windows. You have no idea who's in there. So whether I am with my wife or she's by herself with my little boy, no one knows who's in there, which I think gives you a little bit of element of safety there for my wife. Because she'll go, once we got this thing, she drives it, and my little boy and my wife will go camping, which I think is pretty cool, and she's totally comfortable driving this thing. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. All right, a little look on the inside in here. We have, now Winnebago puts these little shades that kind of come out, and they're paper, and I think they're terrible. I'm not sure if they lasted one try before they came apart. So we use this reflective sunscreen, and it works great for keeping the heat out and also for privacy. So we'll leave this thing up whenever we're camping. You also have the these things for insulation over the windows and also some privacy, and they're magnetic. They just kind of stick to the door frame. Besides that, it is a Mercedes. It is literally one of the best driving vehicles that we have, and we've driven it, I think, let me see here, about 50,000 miles. We need to put more diesel exhaust fluid. That's not a big deal. I think about every 7,000 miles we have to add about a gallon of that. But so you can see here, as far as fuel economy, we haven't reset this meter in 17,000 miles, and we've gotten almost 17 miles per gallon. And that is driving highways, that's driving in the city, that's driving in the mountains and everything. Totally. And if we're usually just driving on the highway, we're getting about 18 miles per gallon. But 17 miles per gallon, I think, is pretty darn good for a 10,000 pound coach. It's a big coach. It doesn't drive like that. It drives so much better than my Toyota Tundra, my wife's car. It's just a really smooth and easy vehicle to drive. Some other things we've done in here besides the shade, which we changed, is I added some USB ports in here. There's one here, there's one over here on the other side to give you more charging capacity. And besides that, to the radio, I did just update the navigation system. It's got the latest navigation stuff on there, which should be good. And that's pretty easy to update there on the Rand McNally web page. And then also underneath here, I took out, there's a antenna for your key fob. I relocated that, which somebody showed me on the internet, and it basically gives you just a little bit more range to lock and unlock the vehicle. Besides that, this thing just works well. Again, everything Mercedes about this thing works awesome. And then everything Winnebago about it is pretty good. we have enjoyed it and we've made it work for us. Let's go ahead and I'll show you the back. Let me show you how we operate this thing while we're on the road. So this is what the back of our Winnebago usually looks like. We are always traveling with our 8-year-old, and he sits right over here, and he has a shoulder belt. And that's the reason we didn't put him over here, because generally there's no shoulder belt, there's a lap belt for the seat that goes over here. Over here, we put our new Era cooler, because we'll be on the road. I think this summer we were on the road for like 6 weeks in the vehicle, spent every night in here, and it was super comfortable. And this allowed us to have enough food and everything. So I've constructed this thing. So if you purchase this, what you will get is this whole structure right here, which could probably be painted to make it look a little bit better, but it works well. It does a couple things. It keeps that thing located. We still strap it down, and it also keeps it from turning off the coach power if it slides forward or something like that. It keeps it from doing that. Besides that, I have, on my other channel, maybe this channel, I've got a whole bunch of videos of me reviewing new Era coolers, and these things are awesome. Right now, what we normally do is we plug it in over here. Again, I have 2 more USB ports over here, and I've also got the 12 volt where the new Era cooler usually plugs in. But right now, it is on its own battery right now, keeping the thing cool inside, and that thing works awesome. It's really great because you can unplug it and roll the thing in to the house, and so you can unpack it, and it'll still be going for a couple hours in case you got the ice cream in there and those kinds of things. Besides that, everything else is pretty much standard Winnebago, and it works pretty well. There is one of the switches under here which was broken off. We didn't replace it. You can go onto the control panel and you can say lights, and you can turn on the overhead lights, and then that will turn on the overhead lights, and then that gets those lights on that you want over there. So you can still turn on those lights on and off. Besides that, all the other lights work normally. The heating system works normally, and also this system over here. The sink, the cutting board work as you would expect. This is an amazing, we wish we had this in our house, because this 3-burner stove top works really great by Dometic. Refrigerator, like I said, we ran this thing for, it'll run about 2 months, I think, on 1 bottle of propane. Such an amazing system, and we leave it on propane even when we're driving. Microwave oven over here. The bathroom is the bathroom. It does have we've never used it for a shower, but we do have the shower curtains for this thing, and that'll be included, obviously. But besides that, the bathroom is super clean, spotless. And going back here is kind of a really cool feature, is we leave it in bed mode all the time. We never take it out of bed mode. We kind of we put our stuff underneath for storage. And we have, I'll have to figure out what the name of it is, but my wife ordered a custom shape, so it is exact dimensions for this area. I think it's just slightly bigger than a queen, slightly smaller than a king. A new mattress that goes on top of it. And I will tell you, once we have this new mattress in here, we no longer desire to stay in hotels. We will avoid, we don't even need a hotel night anymore. We're going to stay on this mattress. It is so comfortable. She usually sleeps on this side. I usually kind of sleep slightly diagonally on this side. I think, maybe modifying this cabinet to make it a little bit shorter would be even better for me over here. But besides that, it is really comfortable. I have my best nights of sleep right here on this thing. Besides that, back here, we don't watch TV when we're on the road. So there's no TV in here. We took that out. We found that if that was the loudest source of noise, was that TV was just crazy. And then up here, we basically took out that radio. We put in our solar over here. Here's 4 more USB connections. We keep all our books back here in there. So if you're getting this one, there's no TV with it. If we're watching TV, it's always Hulu, and it's on our iPads or something like that, or on our iPhones. So we just figured to get rid of that piece out of here. So that's what we do when we camp. I'm going to go ahead and put the other seat back in here, and we're going to take the mattress out. The mattress goes, if you want the mattress, it's going to go with the RV. I think you'll love it. It's brand new. We've used it on 1 trip. Super clean mattress. My wife, she's crazy. So if you go underneath this pad right here, it's got a whole other, it's plastic coated. So she's all about keeping things crazy clean. We do try to keep everything clean inside here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put the seat back in so you see that. We're going to make that seat go back into a couch. We'll get everything set up, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so I have the awning extended a little bit for this shot, just to kind of help me with some of the lighting on the inside and provide some shade. But what I do like about this awning, and it's not all the way out, is it does have the legs that come all the way down and engage right here, which means that all those guys who have problems with wind and then they retract themselves, not a problem on these because it has all the stabilizers to keep these things safe in the wind, and it works really well. Here's that other seat, and it's going to see that's in there. And what this provides you now with this seat is it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and I'll show you in a second. It also gives you that bench seat back in the back with 3 more seat belts. So you have 7 seat belts in this vehicle for people. So here's the table. The table, usually the pole kind of sits back here behind the seat. The tabletop is usually used for the bed in the back, or it kind of stows behind the bed. We always leave it, like I said, in bed mode, so it's almost always there. But you got plenty of room for 4 people to sit around this, I think, fair size table for an RV, Class B RV type thing. I didn't show you before, as far as the cabinets go, I don't know, Winnebago, when they put these things together, the cabinets work just fine. I did carpet line them to kind of keep the sound deadening down on the inside, but when it closes, sometimes it'll open back up. So we added in these elastic straps here that kind of go over and keeps those things from opening up while we're driving. The ones in the back don't seem to do it, but these ones up here definitely did. So we added those elastic kind of tie downs just for all 3 of those so that they wouldn't come out. And then going all the way back here to the back, you can kind of see what it looks like now with the full couch setup. You do have 3 seat belts, 2 with shoulder belts, and the center one just with the lap belt. You got these little tiny jump seats on the side that work out pretty good. Gives you plenty of nice comfortable space back here if you want to throw the kiddos back here while you're driving along. And then these are the buttons here to kind of make the sofa go, you know, up and down, kind of go into sleep mode or drive mode, whatever it is you want it to be. Besides that, I can't think of anything else to show you. You can contact me with questions or anything. You can leave it in the description of this video and I will answer any questions, or you can give us a call. We have this thing for sale in a couple different places. And there you go.